At the Egyptian embassy where velvet curtains sway, two elder statesmen stood near the end of their way. Hubert Humphrey, the happy warrior, worn but still kind, fighting cancer in silence with a peace in his mind. He walked through the crowd like he'd never resigned, a man who once marched where the party aligned. Chicago 68, tear gas and rage, he spoke for a dream trapped in a cage. Beside him stood Nelson, old Rockefeller charm, a Patrician from New York with power in his palm. He ran in Miami in '64 and again in '68, but Nixon had the party and Nelson had to wait. By '77, he'd been pushed from the stage. No longer the future, no longer the rage. With a heart full of art and a flair for the bold, he was growing older, but never grew cold. So raise a glass to the ones who came close, to the podium, the people, the ghosts. They never wore the crown, never sat in that chair, but they shaped every moment that carried us there. In the hush of a room where Sadat took the floor, they stood side by side, not rivals no more. Just one last reception, one final round, before history wrapped them in ceremonial sound. Humphrey built rights to the law, gave voice to the poor. From Medicare to school meals, he opened the door. And though he inspired the Peace Corps idea, it was JFK who made it appear. His sister Frances in pearls in state protocol moved through the same rooms, knew the same call. They said she looked just like him, same grin, same soul. Two Minnesotans who gave D.C. a heart and a roll. Nelson had towers and tapestries and scandal at the end. He died in Manhattan with more rumors than friends, but he gave us museums and highways and dreams of a GOP that once split at the seams. His home in Foxhall went to Sergeant Shriver, a Rockefeller Kennedy footnote, DC's quiet insider. He lived like an emperor, died like a king, but left with no title, just whispers and rings. So toast them again, not for power or fame, but for showing up still with no need to explain. They had roving eyes, complicated lives, but they stood for ideas that somehow survived. That night with Sadat, with chandeliers above, they stood not for glory, but grace and for love. One last reception before the curtain fell. Two men, one photo with so